In this video, we'll look at creating animation clips from the imported animation on a character. If you select any of the characters here in the Assets, Models, Characters folder, you'll see that many of them already have their clips on. What we can see with this sheep here is it's got one animation, from frame 1 to 25, a move clip. When we press play, we see that sheep walking, and that's really all this does. The sheep as an ally is simply meant to walk on screen and draw the enemies away. Other characters, such as the Zombunny, have more animations on them, in this case move, idle, and death. When we press play, we can see whatever the selected clip is. Now let's look at how to create animation clips on an imported character. Select the dog by clicking on it in the project window, and we can see in the inspector that it's got two clips, move and idle. Move running from frame 1 to 50, and idle from frame 60 to 275. It's important to notice that difference in frames, that the initial animation move is meant to go from frame 1 to 50, and there's a space of 10 unused frames, and then the idle goes from 60 to 275. What this lets us do is clip that animation, meaning that we have space in there to take the motion and segment it out here in Unity. If these were animated so that the move ended at 50 and the idle started at 51, it might look odd or not give us enough room in case the dog needs to come to a complete stop. The animation might look chopped. I'm back here in Autodesk Maya, and I'll take a quick look at the duck. Again, we're going to use Autodesk Maya to animate characters such as our duck or our dog with more complex controls than we have in Unity, and also the ability to create quite sophisticated rigs if we need to control those characters. What we can see is that the duck has several animations on it. There's an idle, a walk, an attack, and a die. What this looks like, if we look in the dope sheet, is that there's space between those animations. Again, choosing Window, Animation Editors, and Dope Sheet. With the duck selected and shown here in the dope sheet, we can see that there's space between the keyframes. There's our control on the left for the hips. This is a root node for the duck. We can see that the first animation goes from 1 to about frame 40. The next animation picks up at frame 80, and so on. And there's space between, so that in Unity we have the flexibility to clip that animation, and if the animation needs to come to a complete stop, we can have an extra frame or two, so the animation really looks like it halts completely. Here in Unity, we'll look at how to create clips for our dog. Most of these models should have clips on them already, but if you need to create a new clip or would like to modify the timing on one, here's how. We need to delete our clips, if they exist already, by clicking on the minus below idle. I've deleted both clips, and now the dog has no animation. I'll check Import Animation, and now we can see the default Take 1 that came in with that dog FBX. Take 001 goes from frame 1 to 275. What I'll do first is rename this clip. We'll call this first one Walk. To shorten the range in a clip, either click and drag on the end markers of the animation, or put in a precise frame number in the start or end section. Put in 50 for the end of the walk, and now when we press play, we'll see that dog walk in a cycle. Next, to create a new clip, click on the plus under walk. Now we can see that walk goes from frame 1 to 50, and this new clip, by default name Take 001, will be the idle. I'll rename Take 001 to idle, and set the start time to 60. Remember, there are blank frames between 50 and 60 to allow us to bring this model to or from a full stop if we need. This will go from frame 60 to 275, and with idle selected here in the clips, click play in the preview window. Now we can see our dog idling, sits down, pants a bit, and scratches at an ear with a hind leg. There's this idle cycling as the dog gets up and sits back down. And this is ready for transitioning in a state machine. Once you've created all of your clips, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the inspector and click Apply. And this will apply those clips so that they're ready for accessing later. You can have as many clips created from an animation as you need. It's common to list out the different animations needed in the game design document, and then have the animator animate based on that clip list. This way, we can be assured that all the different clips will come in, and we can sequence them together as needed and transition in our state machine.